Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Reveal Podcast. I am your host, Nancy Yamoa. Today's episode, we are going to talk about comparison because what? It is the thief of joy, okay? Let's get into the story. Let's go.
Some days you wake up and you might even go to sleep not having the best of feelings. You may feel tired, drained. You may feel that you don't have a lot of energy left. And it could very well be that it's the time of the month because it does happen with women, right? Where there are certain times during the month where you have all this energy and you are able to take down the world, literally. And then there's also some other times in the month where, you're about to get your friend and your energy is not that high. You are maybe feeling down and you just want to be by yourself. Maybe you need to just go outside and get some fresh air and some sun. Maybe you need to go exercise, eat some good food, and that could make you feel better, right? All those things are perfectly fine. I think we all need that. We need that balance. So as I woke up this morning, feeling down, feeling like I don't want to deal with the world, I decided not to go to work today. I decided that today is a day that I will choose myself. I will be in my room. I will pray. I will read the word. I will talk to God and see what comes up. So that's what I decided to do. Sometimes the body just needs what it needs. The mind, your soul just needs what it needs. And sometimes you just have to give it to it, right? And so as I was in the process of doing this, I had this revelation in my mind. And this was around, mind you, I've been going back to sleep, waking up and going back to sleep literally all throughout the night. And on one particular time, I don't even remember what time it was, I woke up and I just started praying. And through the prayer, after I prayed and lay back down in my bed, I had this revelation of comparing a cabbage to an oak tree. And I was like, a cabbage to an oak tree? Where is this going? And I love when I get revelations from God because he always had a way to teach me about life that I never thought about before, although it may have been in front of my face the whole time. So he said, a cabbage tree or a cabbage plant literally takes, or the vegetable, I guess you can say the cabbage vegetable, takes about the max 3 to 4 months to grow and mature to be eaten. Right? Sometimes a little earlier. And the oak tree can take up to 10 to 50 to 80 years to mature. 10 to 50 to 80 years to mature, depending on the type of oak tree. He said the oak tree never compares itself to the cabbage because the oak tree understands that its process takes a lot longer, I should say, not a little longer. And the cabbage also never compares itself to the oak tree because the cabbage understands that it also gets to mature in the span of 3 to 4 months. And that is all it needs to be. It doesn't ever need to be an oak tree, or the oak tree never look down on a cabbage tree and say, why don't you take all this time to grow? Why are you taking only 3 months to grow? And I have to stand here and mature from 10 to 20 to 80 years, right? And through the process of which the oak tree is being an oak tree and just standing and maturing, there's so many benefits of the oak tree. The squirrels and stuff gets to eat the plants that drops from the oak tree. There's so many things that people can do with the oak leaves itself. There's so many things that people can also do with the actual stem of the oak tree, right? And so there's so many benefits of the oak tree even before it's cut down and made into wood. Right? So this idea of comparison is what literally kills joy and happiness and contentment. And what God was trying to tell me using that analogy was that you could very well be an oak tree. You can very well be a cabbage. But the beauty of that is that you don't have to compare yourself to a cabbage if you're an oak tree. And if you're an oak tree, you don't have to compare yourself to a cabbage. The same thing applies to human beings. Sometimes we find ourselves comparing to someone else's life, what they're doing, what they got, this and that. But they could be a cabbage, right? And no No hate on the cabbage because I love cabbage. I don't know if you guys are out there love cabbage, but I love cabbage. Cabbage is one of those vegetables that is just, you can eat it raw, you can cook it, add some vegetable to it, some sausage to it. You can use it in a salad, you can make it into a stew. There's so many things that you can do with a cabbage, and you can even put it into rice and cook it to make jollof rice. So many ways and so many things that you can do with a cabbage. And cabbage is actually really good at helping you to regulate your hormones. Okay, that's something I learned this year. And so there's so many other benefits to a cabbage, just like an oak tree. There's so many different benefits to an oak tree as well, right? And so a cabbage finds its power in being a cabbage, and an oak tree finds its power in being an oak tree. Never do they have to compare with each other. Never do they have to fight with each other to try to take each other's place. That is what God is trying to tell us human beings too. So often we turn to compare ourselves to the next person. It could be a next door neighbor. It could be a family member. It could be someone you've never even met on social media. It could be someone famous that you're comparing your life to. But your life is nothing compared to anybody else's life. Even if you are twins, your life is uniquely different from the other twin. Everything that God has called you to be and to do is not going to look like the next person. You are uniquely made and created to do your own uniquely things. There's some things that you may be able to do in the next 5 years. There's certain things that the next person may be able to do in a month. It doesn't make them any better or greater than you. It just means that they are a cabbage while you are an oak tree in that season. Learn your season. Learn a lot from, I think one thing too that we have to do is to learn a lot from nature. And I was telling a friend yesterday when I went to brunch, I said, I've been really paying attention to nature. And there's so many things that we can learn from nature. The way the planting season, the harvesting season, there's a pruning in between that. The wait for things to mature, right? Because even the cabbage has to be planted. It has to be taken care of. And even in the span of the 3 to 4 months, it still needs a lot of grooming and pruning for it to be its best. I said there's a lot of things that we can learn from nature. There's a lot of things that we can learn from the process of planting and harvesting. So I hope this message can reach your heart, deep down in your heart, that the next time you look to compare yourself to anybody else, remember that you can very well be an oak tree who may need at least 10 years to mature. Give yourself the grace that you need as you are going through your own process of pruning and maturing and to the point where you can be mature enough to be harvested, to be used for something else. But also remember that just because the oak tree has not been harvested yet, because it has not been matured yet to be used as wood for maybe tables or whatever else the oak trees are used for, it doesn't mean that during the process of its maturity that it cannot be used for something else. In the process of its maturity, oak trees are used for many other benefits. So give yourself grace. Give yourself time to grow, to mature, to process. Stop comparing yourself to other people. You are not meant to be like other people. You are uniquely called to be who you were intended to be. I love you with the love of God, and I'll talk to you guys soon.